Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Super Messiah. This is a weekly show on a Sunday which brings you all the latest news and information from the Robert Space Industries website. Everything I talk about can be found on the RSA website. I'll provide links to all the articles and whatnot and to the website, so if you want to go and read them yourself in your own time, feel free to. I'm just covering the basics. So without further ado,
Thank you, come again.
Let's get on with the show. So, in this episode we have 10 for the Chairman, we have the August's monthly report, Around the Verse episode 12, and the all-important status update for the Arena Commander version 0.9 patch. So, let's get on with it. Okay, so the most important news first, in usual tradition, is the Arena Commander volume 0.9 patch, which on Friday we had an update saying it was delayed again. Now, they had a meeting on Friday morning, which was to decide whether it was a go or a no-go, and the decision was no-go as there were still problems with it. Now, quoting from their website, they have said, "While we hope that today's build will resolve some of the last remaining blockers, we do not want to release the build that has not been thoroughly tested, as these fixes may have knock-on effects." So, I think the build they have today is working. It's working quite well, but the problem is they haven't tested it enough. So what they're going to do is he's given them the weekend off because they've been obviously working very hard to try and get this build out over the last week. So he's given them the weekend off, and I think Monday they'll come back, they'll reassess, they'll get it all sorted and test it and test it and test it. They may be testing it over the weekend, I don't know. And let us know midweek. I would say, I think it was Wednesday was mentioned, so I assume it'll be on Around the Verse. So if there isn't a new update before Around the Verse or just after, it'll be within Around the Verse itself telling us that it's not going to happen, I expect. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not upset by this. I know other people may be, but you've got to understand it's a difficult job to do, and I would rather it be a complete thing than a mishmash of nonsense. But anyway, they did put up on their post, they had lots of little bits to sort of explain what's going to come in to the new build, because a lot of people don't really know the specific features that they've planned for this build. So the first one, as we know, is Murray Cup Racing. Now, it says that players can now race their pledge ships in a specially designed upper atmosphere scenario. So does that mean that I will have to race my Aurora? As I mentioned last week, I don't really want to fly against an M50 in an Aurora, but maybe the upper atmospheric scenario means that they have somehow managed to balance out the ships. I don't know. I'm hoping you'll just be able to go into the game, choose a ship you want to use and fly it, so we can hopefully get to use the M50 and the 350R without having to pledge for them. We'll see. So Vandal Swarm Co-op, they've put take on alien hordes with a friend or a competitor. So I'm reading that, I'm thinking that obviously, you can co-op with a friend, up to 4 I think it is, up to 4 friends. Or can you go head-to-head to try and get as many kills in Vandal Swarm than the other person? I wonder if that's going to be a different game mode for the leaderboards, to try and see who's got the most and you can compete against each other. Next is obviously the flyable M50 and 300R, which will be available in all of the Arena Commander modes, not just the racing. So if you've pledged for one of them, you will be able to use that ship. I bet if you have, you're very excited for that. The 350R, obviously it looks pretty much exactly the same as the other 300 ships, but it is still a cool looking ship. And if you had all the different liveries on it with, sponsors and stuff, this is what I'm looking forward to in the Persistent Universe. These esports that they have mentioned, Chris Roberts has said that you'll be able to go into a bar planetside, put on the local TV in the bar, and watch it, like going to the pub with your mates to watch football or American football or soccer or whatever. It's like that, going and watching it, and you can probably place bets on it. You can go to the arenas live, because they've also got Sarta Ball, which is like a cross between sort of Australian rules football and Gaelic football and rugby. So there's going to be a lot of different esports out there. And I mean, oh god, when I play Pro Evolution now or FIFA on my own, not FIFA, I don't play FIFA, sorry, Pro Evolution on my own, I think that it's like an in-game of Star Citizen. It's like Sarta Ball. I mean, it's not, but my imagination runs wild. I'm really looking forward to the esports factor of Star Citizen, because it will be a big thing. You can watch it live streamed on Twitch, so if there's a friend of yours who hasn't got the game and can't get into the game to go into a bar to watch it, he can literally watch it while he's at work. Place bets on you, maybe, I don't know. I'm loving that idea. So next was private matches. It says, tired of being matched with random players in Arena Commander, private matches will let you play with your friends. That's brilliant. That'll be so cool, just having all your friends in one server playing Vandal Swarm. Simple as, I think. Friends codes. Now this is confusing. It says we're launching a code system for both private and public matches, so you can connect with your wingmen. So I don't understand how it's going to work. I assume you'd have to have the launcher in a way, or have an account with Robert Space Industries. I don't think you need a ship, because otherwise why would you be giving friend a code to play? So I assume they're going to lend you a ship or loan you a ship. I don't know, maybe if you've got more than one ship you can allow friends, but we'll have to see more into that when they explain it. So leaderboards, your performance in Arena Commander's various modes will display on the RSA website and allow you to compare with others. That's quite straightforward. I tweeted out a little snippet. I'll put up a picture now of the picture I tweeted. So yeah, follow us on Twitter. It's @SuperMacBrother, not Brothers, Brother, because we didn't have enough characters, which was typical. But yeah, it's just a clip of the leaderboard showing you pretty much what they'll look like. It doesn't have any stats on it, but that's coming soon. Updated ship performance. Now what they've done is they've increased the speed and acceleration of every ship. I think they thought they were too slow. They were too, like I said, flying a brick was the Aurora. Although I love my Aurora to bits, it is like flying a brick. Or a space whale. That was something else I called it, I think. Anyway, I'll probably cut that bit out. With this, we've also reworked the afterburner mechanic to increase acceleration instead of top speed. I think, if you're coming up against someone, you can dodge better, you can move quicker. That's good. I like that. So the HUD update, this is quite interesting. What they've done is they've overhauled the usability of the visor HUD, so you can customize your ships and your ship systems more easily in flight. Now in patch 0.9, are they going to have the ability to put shields on one side to the other side? I know you can do that with sort of voice control, but maybe you can put all your power into your weapons or into your engine and divert the power from your weapon so you can get away. Is that coming to 0.9? I wouldn't have thought so, but it sounds like they're putting in the sort of steps towards that, maybe. New hangars, obviously. We've remastered all the Star Citizen's hangars with the new forward-looking room system. Not sure what that means. And added the asteroid hangar. So, new pause menu. Our refactored pause menu is a large step forward aesthetically and will support new features like custom key bindings in the future. In the meantime, we've included selectable profiles for the most common peripherals. So if you're there wanting to fly with joystick, I think it's going to happen, I mean, it won't be every joystick. Obviously, there are a lot of joysticks out there. So if you've got like a non-branded or non-mainstream joystick, it's not likely to be customizable. But we shall see. You never know. So after the pause menu was the 6 degrees of freedom or flight, which it improves the in-flight control system and the flight physics, where you can move in a completely different way now. I don't fully understand it myself. I understand it's instead of having to decouple yourself and shimmy left and right or up and down, it should happen simultaneously without having to maybe press the buttons. I don't know. We'll see, but it's happening. So that's basically what they mentioned in the patch. So they mentioned that the headlining changes that they're putting in, the ones that we're all really excited for, are actually the least important. It's the smaller changes that are very important to the long run development. So little things that they're putting in that we may consider to be a bit dull, a bit boring, a bit unnecessary, is actually paving the way for the persistent universe. So it is a bigger patch than what we think. And obviously things like Murray Cup is a taster for us so that we can stay tuning in and playing it, because they need to test it. But the background work, like the servers and things like that we take for granted, that I take for granted. I'm not saying you do. That is one of the bigger things where they're testing out for the future. So with that said, we'll move on to the next one, which will be 10 for the chairman, which wasn't 10. Okay, so on the Tuesday, rather than the planned Monday, which is usual for 10 for the chairman, I believe this would have been because Chris Roberts would have been in PAX Prime, so he wouldn't have been able to get back on the Monday to record it. What they did, it was a special edition, which, in all fairness, was less special because there wasn't 10 questions, there was 5 questions. And they were from the subreddit of Star Citizen. So there were just 5 questions asked there. Usually it's the 10 from subscribers. It only lasted 8 minutes long. But the questions were pretty interesting, I must admit. So the first one that was asked was to do with personal inventory. So how will your personal inventory be in the game? So how much can you carry? And it basically means that the way that Chris Roberts describes it is very similar to DayZ. He didn't mention DayZ, but if you've played the DayZ standalone, you have like a jacket and it'll have so many pockets, which gives you so many blocks of space. T-shirt will have no carrying capacity capabilities, but like a pair of jeans will have a couple of pockets, maybe 4 slots. So he did mention that, like jacket pockets, so many, T-shirts, no slots, and then backpacks. So there will be backpacks, I expect, or some sort of cool-looking futuristic pack that you can put on your back. That rhymes. He did say that how you dress yourself will affect your personal inventory and how much you can carry, which is very interesting because obviously there's going to be, I know you can flip up your mobiGlas, buy a jacket, go and pick it up or have it delivered, I don't know, it'll be something along those lines. So depending on the role that you are taking, so if you're going out to salvage and you need some tools on you, you would have overalls to carry the tools. If you're going out on a mission, like a sniper mission or a hit, then you would wear something so you could have a lot of ammo, like a radio to talk to your friends or whatever, I don't know. It's an interesting way of working it. And he also said that obviously the ship will have its own inventory, the hangars will have their own inventory, sort of behind the scenes it'll be like plugins sort of thing where each item will carry so many slots. It sounds really good to me, and I like that idea where you can, whatever you're planning on doing, whatever role you're doing that day, be it collecting fish, fighting, boarding other ships, whatever you are planning on doing, you will have to wear certain outfits so that you've got enough slots to make it worthwhile. So combat trousers will have lots more pockets than jeans. Simple as. Now, the next question was about weapon part balancing, and it was more about how to keep it in fiction on the run up to the persistent universe and within the universe. So the weapons we have now have not been fully balanced. They are being balanced, obviously, as time goes on. We are testing it, we are playing it and balancing the weapons for them. We're showing them which guns are overpowered and which aren't. So a way to keep it in fiction, which Chris Roberts said it's a very interesting concept and I think he'll probably try and do it this way. If a weapon is far too overpowered, rather than just say, sorry, that weapon's too overpowered, we'll just fix it and give you it back. They're going to maybe recall weapons that are too overpowered and say, this is a problem with it, it may overheat too much, we're recalling these, we'll send out a newer version. And again, same with like newer model upgrades, maybe that one is the lesser version, maybe it's underpowered, so they say, well, what we'll do is we've released this new upgrade, which if you own this one, you can get it for free, or, it's going to be in fiction, which is, I love this in fiction thing. I love role-playing. I'm not very good at it, if you've seen our DayZ video, but we're going to get better with it. So the idea of having the in fiction all through the process of creating this world and this universe is exciting to me. I enjoy that. So, moving on, the question 3 is about whether or not NPCs will know if you're a villain or a good guy. So if you're a good guy and you come up against pirates, I think it's quite inevitable that they will probably attack you. But if you're a pirate and you come up against NPC police, will they just stop you purely because you're a pirate, and you've done things in the past that will make them track you down? So the way Chris Roberts explains it is that if you have not been seen committing crimes, plundering, pirating, then the authorities or the people aren't going to know that you've done that. So they're not just going to stop you on the basis that you have chosen that style of life. If you have not done anything, if you've blatantly robbed someone or killed someone in front of the police, then yes, they will see that, and they will know that you're a bad dude and they're going to come and try and get you. And they may even put out an APB to say, this guy is wanted, so when they do see you, they will know that you're wanted. Whether or not you'll know that you're wanted, I don't know. I would have thought so, but who knows. So yeah, if you are committing crimes, like sort of Firefly, they're not bad people. If you've seen Firefly, the people in it, they're not bad. They smuggle a little bit because they are obviously on that side of the law. They try and stick within the confines of the law, but they will way over the line if necessary to get a good payout, which sounds pretty cool to me. And so if you occasionally smuggle the odd rare illegal fish onto a planet that is not supposed to have that or is endangered, they won't automatically know you have it unless they've scanned you and found it. So you can literally get through passes and checkpoints as long as they don't find that fish on board. That was a very bad example. Anyway, question 4. So, it's on about ship health after all your armour has been shot off. The way he explains it is that each section of the ship will have obviously different health states, but the armour is sort of bought separately and added to the ship in way of plugins. So you can plug in like a titanium wing, and that wing will be very, very strong until the armour has been blown off, and then it's pretty much gone. So I don't think it's like, I think the shield, once your shield has gone, then it's down to your armour. Once your armour has gone, the part is gone, because I think the ship is made pretty much out of armour. It's not like they build it out of plastic and then put a fucking metal plate over the top. Don't know why I swore there. Anyway, so I mean, you can buy different types of armour, I would have thought, different materials, and he does mention that if you buy heavy armour, it'll weigh you down, you'll be slower, you won't be able to manoeuvre as quick. So that's good. So it is going to affect things. Again, you'll have to plan your journey. It won't just be a case of let's just hop in this ship, go there, battle these guys, or transport this over there. You will have to think, right, I'm going into that part of the universe. There's a lot of Vandal there. I'll need a lot of armour, but I'll want to be quick. So you find a decent bit of armour that's not going to slow you down too much, so you can get through quite quickly in case you don't meet anyone, but you can take a couple of hits. On the other hand, if you've got a big ship that is very slow and you're going to come up against scythes, you're going to want heavy armour to protect you against that, because you are not going to be able to outrun them. So you put lots of heavy armour on. It doesn't matter, you're a freighter, you're going to be moving slow regardless. Put the heavy armour on so that you can literally go toe to toe with these scythes and use your big guns against their smaller guns. Because again, they're not going to be able to use their blades on the scythes, are they, to rip a big ship in half. It's just probably not going to happen. But that excites me. I love the idea of, it's like when you play Skyrim. I play it modded, with very realistic mods, and it's freaking difficult at times, but I plan my journeys. I think, well, I need enough food, I need enough water, you know, what armour I'm going to need, obviously either the weather, the coldness, so you do plan it, and it makes it a much more in-depth game. It makes the longevity of the game much better as well, because you're not just running from point to point constantly picking up these things. You know, you're doing your job, you're having to go out there. I'm just blabbing, let's get on. So the question 5, the last question, was about the modularity of the Caterpillar. If you've seen anything on the Caterpillar, it shows that basically it's a little tiny sort of ship, I don't know, like a small cruise ship that attaches to the large section of I don't know, is the small part of the Caterpillar, or is the large part of the Caterpillar? I assume it's all the same thing. The way Chris Roberts explained it was that they'll all be plugins. He said it's too early to tell what types of modules we'll have for the Caterpillar, but he did mention ones like soldiers, so you can have lots of soldiers in your Caterpillar to drop off, cargo, a medical module, a salvage module. You know, it sounds like if you own the base flight system of the Caterpillar, then you can interchange it with different modules depending on the role you're wanting to do. So that was the last question of the 10 for the Chairman special edition, which was really just 5 for the Chairman Reddit edition. But anyway, I thought the questions were pretty good, so that's that. We'll see what's up next. So up next is the August monthly report, which explains everything that's happened in the month of August with each studio at Cloud Imperium. So we have the Santa Monica studio, the Austin studio, you know, the Squadron 42 in, what do they call themselves? Foundry 42, that's it, in Manchester. And you've got Behaviour, you've got Redacted and Turbulent. So it starts off with Travis Day. Just what he explains is the underlying tech behind the multi-crew combat demo. And he mentioned something called localized physics grids, which allows the player to be inside the ship and recognised as being inside the ship as a separate entity rather than being part of the ship, and allowing him to move freely in that ship. If you're a tech person, I would recommend reading this because it explains a lot. I unfortunately am not clever enough to be a tech person in that sense, so it makes no real sense to me. But check it out if you are. Something else he mentioned was to do with the HUD. Now he mentioned that you can customise your own visor HUD, which sounds awesome, so everyone won't just have the same HUD in the visor, it'll be designed to your specific needs. So I mean, I suppose you could, I'm not sure how it would work, but you could have your targeting and whatnot, or your inventory in one corner. I don't know, will it display your health? I don't know. I hope it, in a way, it's sort of done like, and I expect it will do, like interplanetary marines, where you can lift your hood up or you can take your helmet off and you won't have a hood. I think that's what they said will happen as well, so that's cool. But if they can customize your own visor hood, then surely you'll be able to customize your ship hood. So you can put your shield power in one corner, your inventory in the other corner, you know, your route that you're taking in the next, and it'll be however you want it to be. So if you are planning a route, like I mentioned before, you need to think about your inventory on your person, your inventory and your armor of your ship, the module of your ship, if it's something like a caterpillar, and then you've got to think about how you want your hood to display it, or the information you've got. Very, very cool, and a lot of planning in your hangar before you even set off. And if you've got friends helping you, you know, you can be like, right, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. It'll just be so big. Anyway, he also added that the first step in supporting hood elements to be passed between different seats of the ship, I assume. So if the captain is in one seat, if you say you're in a Connie, you've got your captain in the middle and your two wingmen on either side in the seats set next to you. You can have the left man, say if you wanted him to do navigation, and the man on the other side to be controlling the power of the ships, or controlling, I don't know, something else. And you think, actually, no, he's probably better with the navigation than the left-hand guy. You can, instead of getting them to just get up and swap seats, you can probably pass the hood over to him so he can then take control of that. That's pretty cool. So, Eric Peterson in Cloud Imperium Austin, he goes through different sections. So he started with the art. He says that the New Horizon, obviously they've completed the 350R. He mentions that the props for the persistent universe missions, because I think they've got 3 missions ready that they're testing. He says the props are all done for that. He also mentions that the research and development for the jump gate effects are being researched, as in how they will look, how they will react to ships and so forth. Weather effects for planetside locations are also being looked into, which will be so cool. Just having a good old rain in like Stanton, and then bright sunshine in the sea environment. Very, very nice. So cinematics is the next section. They are currently working on the ship commercials for the M50, which I know was shown off at Dragon Con, but there's no real proper footage of it yet. It's all just people recording it with the camera, which, I mean, it looks cool, but I want to see it fully. As soon as I get that video, I'm going to put it up on one of these Star Citizen Sunday videos. Now, they're also planning and budgeting for stop motion capture for Squadron 42. So they're obviously looking for, you know, how much money it's going to cost. They're planning the whole routine, and I expect they'll be looking at people to act in the motion capture. Whether or not they'll be very famous people, we don't know. I know Chris Roberts obviously directed films like Lucky Number 11, so we will know a lot of people in the industry. So he can probably get some good names in. So on the design side of things, they are currently, or they're being focused on integrating the basic systems into the persistent universe prototype. So the system for transitioning from the surface of a planet to the hangar and then to space, and connecting systems with jump points are all being looked into, and they're just trying to get the basics of them down so they work seamlessly, and then they can obviously start putting in the nice features to it that makes it look pretty and all that jazz. So technical designers have been putting the finishing touches on city interiors and space station, and the building kits to enable faster construction of planetary environments. So that's very cool. I look forward to seeing all the different interiors and whatnot of these planets. Very nice. So in the platform and publishing section, it mentions that the concept work for the new star map, which was one of our pledge goals, to bring us a star map of what's so far constructed, not physically constructed in the game, but planned out for the game. So all the different systems, it's going to be on a star map, and the concept work has started for that. So that should be happening. That should be coming up soon, I hope. On the programming side of things, they have integrated the CryEngine 3.6.3, which went well, and if you're a TrackIR kind of guy, then they've implemented the basics for the TrackIR support, so I would think that will be coming out pretty soon. So yeah, if you're a TrackIR rather than an Oculus guy, or maybe you're not bothered but you have a TrackIR, then that will be happening for you soon. So Aaron Roberts, Chris Roberts' brother at Foundry 42, mentions in the design factor that one of the challenges in creating their campaign story is to make sure that they don't put these sort of bespoke mechanics that are only able to work in the story. They have to be able to work in the persistent universe as well. So it's pointless introducing some sort of mechanic that will allow you to do something that is only capable of doing in the story campaign with it being a single player, whereas if you implement it into the persistent universe it won't work. It's pointless doing that. You've got to have everything working seamlessly with single player and multiplayer. And he also mentioned something about scavenging items from dead bodies. That was an example he gave for that. So obviously that's going to be part of the game as well, is you know, you kill someone, you can pick up their inventory, which goes back to the 10 for the Chairman questions. And also the work on the Starfarer is currently in the ship pipeline, which I love the look of the Starfarer. The image they have of the Starfarer on like a desert land with the people stood next to it, I can just imagine, you know, landing, refueling somewhere, having a break, you know, walking around this little environment, and then approaching your ship again from a distance and just seeing this huge Starfarer, knowing that you own that. Or something else that is a bit off tangent, maybe some of the jobs will require you to take a ship with cargo to a certain area. So instead of having to have your own ship to fill up all this cargo and take it yourself, maybe someone will allow you to take the ship as part of the job. Like maybe, you know, like if you work for a truck company, you don't always have to own your own ship. Obviously they'll have their own ship, their own trucks. So you can go to a company, take the ship, take the truck and just drive to your destination. So maybe that would be the same in Star Citizen's persistent universe. You know, you look for a job, there's a job to take the Starfarer of fuel from this star system to the next. Simple job, just there and back, but obviously you've got to plan your route, the safe route. It may be longer than the shorter route, purely because there may be Vandal on the way. Awesome stuff. But yeah, Starfarer is currently being worked on now. So on the outside, the concept work has taken place on the Schumann interiors, and I'll put up a few images of the interiors that they've designed so far. It looks amazing, it really does. The Anvil F8 heavy fighter and the mining drone cabin, the Panther class carrier bridge, and the Javelin interiors are all having concept work done at this current moment. The environment team also worked hard in completing the New Horizon map, including the new trailer that we saw at Gamescom. So good work to them. And obviously work is continuing on the Gladiator, the Retaliator, the Gladiator. They've all gone into texturing phase. The Idris, the Javelin and the Panther interiors are all moving on as well. So we shall hopefully start seeing some more ships in the HoloViewer, and also, you know, walk around the ships and stuff. What would be good is if they have these massive ships, if they could just put them somewhere where you can... Obviously they can't fit them all in your hangar, but if they could put them in a place, maybe even multiplayer, where you can all walk around together and talk to each other while you explore these ships, like a showroom or something, that would be awesome. Chris Roberts, sort it out. So, the people at Behaviour, Matthew I think his name is, I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because it's like a French name and I'm not good at French. Their team have been spending a lot of time debugging and optimising the new hangars so it's ready for 0.9. And they've also begun working on the basic layout for the next planet locations. Also the shops for ArcCorp, Area 18 and Terra Prime. So it sounds like the planet sides are coming along quicker than we might think. They don't obviously release pictures and stuff so at the moment because there's other things they're doing. But it sounds like a lot of the teams are working on these planet side areas, which in my eyes it seems like ages away till we can see them. Whereas I think they've actually got quite a few of them laid out and you know, ready to go. So the team at Redacted, as they've mentioned in their post, it's obvious that at PAX Australia we are going to see some of the FPS module, or it sounds like it's at some sort of base station, like sort of a mining station. That seems like the first level that they're showing off, and I'll show some pictures of it because it looks amazing. Where, you know, which is where we're going to be able to shoot out against other people. Hopefully multiplayer. I mean, obviously it'll start off maybe being deathmatch all for all, then implement the multiplayer and so on and so forth. but they've started adding like detail objects to fill up like the mess hall, the security office, the grav control room they mentioned. So obviously these are different rooms that will be in this station or this map, and also the visual effects have been added to create the atmosphere. They mentioned that the air rushes through doors as they open, which isn't something we've really seen in a game much, and I think something like that will really add to it. It'll be the sort of thing that you'll take for granted, but it will really make you believe that you're there. They also mentioned things like sparks trickling down from broken equipment and water splashes as your player runs through puddles on the floors and so forth. So it's and the pictures, as you can see, just look awesome. I really can't wait for the FPS module. I am looking forward to that more than probably the Murray Cup racing and things like that, because we've been flying our ships for a while now. Something different will be exciting, very exciting. So Benoit at Turbulent, these guys Turbulent, it sounds like they are the ones that we can thank for the store revamp, where we can use the holo viewer and things like that. They created the design, I believe, for this, and they're also adding the first brick towards completing the thorough Galactopedia of everywhere, which obviously there's a lot of data to be collected, but when that comes out, it'll be so impressive. If you're in your, I think they mentioned in your hangar they would have a map room, so you could walk into your map room, bring up your map, and think, right, I need to go there, what's the best way? I need to go that way, that way, that way, and just explore the map. I think they're going to do it so that if you've been there, you can open it, or maybe if your friend's been there, they can download the map for you and so forth. I don't think it just appears for you to see. It will do on the website, but in-game I don't think it will. So it was also Turbulent that I stole the picture from for my tweet in regards to the leaderboards. I think these guys are also revamping the star map and the leaderboards with future projects in mind as well. So it looks like they do a lot for the design of what we see. They also mentioned that you get to choose your hangar of what you want. I'm not sure how that works. It says pretty soon you'll also be able to select the hangar you want to see in the hangar module. It also mentions which ships you want to display directly from the web. So what that means, I'm not too sure. Obviously they've got different manufacturers for hangars now, so can you pick a certain manufacturer for, because I've only got the basic hangar, so I couldn't really have the Revel and York basic hangar. I don't think it would work like that. I think I may have to pay extra money to get it. I don't know. I could be making that up. I am making that up. I don't know if it's true or not. We'll have to see. But also it looks like if you've got a lot of ships, you can choose which ones you want to be in your hangars, which in all fairness, I would have thought it'd be better if those ships are in those hangars and you bring another ship and there's no more room, then you can't store that in there. I'd prefer it to be that sort of realism, but obviously if you've travelled a long distance, you get to your hangar and there's no room for you to put your ship, what are you going to do with it? Hopefully there'll be some sort of extra docking area where you can just stick it in there and hope for the best. So Matthew Jack at Moon Collider, they are responsible for the AI, the artificial intelligence of the game, and I think they'll be pretty busy at the moment creating the new patch, because you've obviously got the new Vandal Swarm co-op along with the racing. I mean, obviously if you don't fill a lobby with enough races, I wonder if they'd just put AI races in to fill up the gaps. So they'd obviously have to come up with the programming for all these, and for the AI for it. Plus, obviously, with PAX Australia coming close to now, I expect they'll have to work with Redacted to get the AI working smoothly for the FPS module. So I'm sure they're pretty busy right now. It does mention in their post that they are doing a lot of debugging and obviously smoothing things out to make them a lot more realistic and a lot more smooth. So that's it for the August monthly report. Up next is Around the Verse number 12, I believe. So on Thursday we saw Around the Verse number 12 with Ben Lesnick and James Pugh this time, as Sandy Gardner was apparently helping the UEE. Interesting. So they mentioned how the landing gear for the Avenger is fixed in this next patch, which if you own one, I'm sure you're happy to know that. Squadron 42 side of things, they have got CryEngine, who do the AI, have got the bridge officer working. Now, not 100% sure what that is relating to. I know it'll be an AI character most likely in the Bengal carrier. So I assume he will be the type of person who you will go to for missions, I expect. And that sounds pretty cool, how he'll be on the bridge doing what he does, probably running the operations of the ship, and where you'll go, I assume, for missions. The Persistent Universe, it says that they've created a space tourism / cruise game design document. I have no idea what that means. All I can speculate is that maybe it's to do with the economy, the tourist side of it all, or, I mean, cruise, does that mean that you can go on a cruise ship? What does it mean? We need more information on that one. They've built up the Terra Prime landing zone, which is the main landing zone on Terra, I believe. They're making it ready for FPS. I wonder if that would be the first one we get to visit. I wouldn't be surprised. The M50, as we know, it's in engine now. It's all running fine. Apparently they're working on the LODs, the damaged states, and the thruster effects. So I'm sure that'll look incredible when you get to race it. HUD updates, weapons, power, and shield management screens are updated. So I assume we can, hopefully in 0.9, I know I mentioned it earlier, hopefully we can fiddle around with putting power down on the engines and putting them up on the guns and vice versa. Hopefully on the fly it'll be quite quick. Maybe you program it to a button. Not yet, but when they bring out the customizable controls, you can just press a button and it'll shift, in a macro style, shift those two power levels from one to the next. Ben Lesnick says the Mustang variants are coming off the assembly line, and you can see an image of a new one. We did have the AMD Mustang last week, which you only got if you bought the AMD graphics card. Certain ones, I expect. We're not sure yet which ones they are. So obviously they're having different liveries, different tune-ups, whatnot. Interior work on the 890 Jump, the Origin 890 Jump. Now there's another image there, look, and it looks kind of weird, but it's interesting, and I bet it looks amazing inside. Carrick is in concept, which is good news. So we'll hopefully be seeing some screens of that, maybe one of those work in progress posts they put up. I like those. The most valuable post which they showed us is from a YouTuber called Anything FPS. Probably heard of him, probably not, but I have. I like watching some of his things, and it's a lovely cinematic of, it looks like a downed ship where a pilot has probably crash landed and died, and it's very nice. I'll have that playing in the background, as you can see, so you can have a look at it. So when we came back from the most valuable post, Travis Day had taken James Pugh's place. Travis Day is the producer for Star Citizen, which is a big role, and he wanted to talk about ship stats on the page. Now I assume, or ship specs, sorry, I assume they're getting a lot of anger when people look at the specs. They are obviously comparing to what they want to do in the game, and they're really, as I would too, you would thoroughly go through them and figure out what you want out of a ship. Now, the only problem with doing that is that the ships will change over time, and he did say that they are all subject to change as and when they please, which is fair enough, because if they create new things, the ships aren't always going to be, like, if it's so like cargo capacity, they all have to meet the right standard, the power they use and so forth. It all has to meet a certain spec, and if one of them doesn't, it'll have to be altered. And same with any ship. If anything doesn't quite meet the right spec and it doesn't work, because it's all physically rendered proper in real time, is the ships. So they all have to meet a proper standard, otherwise they're not going to work. So please don't take them too seriously yet. By all means, they're a guide. It shows you what they have, what ideas they have for the ship and what it's expected to be, but it will change. So keep that in mind when you're looking at what ships you are wanting to buy. So we also met Ali Corker, which Ali Corker is the UK customer support in Manchester. So nice to meet you, Ali. Carry on the good work. The interview was with Kami Talibi, I believe his name is. He is the production coordinator who helps sort of reduce bottlenecks throughout the whole development pipeline. What that actually entails, he does tell you. I cannot remember for the life of me, and I probably didn't even understand it in the first place. Now, the sneak peek, which is right at the end, which I've entered, it's sort of an unannounced competition. So if basically what you've got to do, they showed you a snippet of 4 different cockpits, and they didn't mention what ships they were from. You have got to guess which cockpit matches what ship. They are ships that we haven't seen currently, as obviously it would be obvious if it was just an Aurora cockpit, you would know straight away. Now, I really looked into this, and the first one I would say is most likely a mining drone. Now these cockpits are all found in Foundry 42 and Squadron 42. That is them. They've created these cockpits for the main game, I believe, for the single player game. Sorry. So the first one I believe is a mining drone because it looks very construction-like. You've got the top screens above, very construction-like in my opinion. Second one I would say is the Anvil Gladiator because it's got the Anvil sign on the screen. After that I would say is the Gladius. And then the fourth is Retaliator. Now, there are little clues. You've got some logos on the seats of some of them. Tell me what you think. Just put in the comments, 1, 2, 3, 4, what you believe they'll be. And don't forget to go to the website and find the forum. I'll put a link in there so you can go to it and enter that competition. They didn't say what you can win, but they said there might be something you can win. So if you want to stand a chance, put in what you think. Have a look at what other people have put, and if you agree with them, you know, copy it, paste it, whatever, and good luck with that. Right, so that wraps up the Around the Verse number 12. Now, on the website, they also have the op.net Merc News, which is an in-fiction post. I haven't read it yet myself, but if you've been reading them, there's a new one up for you. And also Orbital Supermax, episode 10. Now, I'm only up to about episode 5, so I don't know what happens in episode 10. And hopefully, the last MVP from last week, he will narrate these for us so we don't have to read them. Yay, we can be more lazy. Right, so that's it for this week's Star Citizen Sunday. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one or any more after that. And also like, because it tells me that I'm doing a good job. Now, I want to thank everyone for their comments last week. There was some very good constructive criticism there, and I have taken them on board. And I appreciate all your help with getting this program as it should be. Again, if you have any more comments or any ways you believe I can make this better, please tell me. I'm up for anything to try and get things as they should be. I'm a bit of a noob with the software I'm using, but over time I'm sure I'll learn a lot more on how to do it. Now, I just want to talk about my plans for when the version 0.9 comes out. I do check the website daily, so I will be very early in finding out that it's released, because I am very sad and I sit here and I go through a routine of checking all the websites I check, and Star Citizen is one of them. So I want to start with doing a video of the Murray Cup, because I believe that is what most people would want to see, and I believe that that'll be very exciting. It'll answer a lot of questions and it'll show a much different game from what we've seen so far. So I will show some footage of the Murray Cup, hopefully have a full race. It depends on what time I log into the game and if it's halfway through a race. We'll see. After that, I will probably do a walk around of the hangar. The hangars have changed, as we know, when it comes out, and I would like to see that myself. So I'll do a good old tour of my hangar. It won't be every hangar because I don't have access to all the hangars. But yeah, so I'll show off the new hangar that I've chosen. And then I may do a Vandal Swarm co-op. Hopefully they'll have voice chat activated so we can talk to each other. But then I may just do a video trying to cover all the different features that they've... If they're obvious features, you know, I'll show them off. Don't forget to join me next week for the next episode of Star Citizen Sunday. I shall see you in the verse. Well, no I won't. I'll see you in Arena Commander. Hopefully 0.9 very soon. Take care now.